So I've never heard about men getting pregnant. I've never heard about this argument. It must be some part of what you call the far left that is so minuscule that I, who am...
No, Jane.
What?
It's not minuscule, and I'm sorry, you can't throw this back on us. I assume it's because you are locked into media that just never wants anyone in their audience to know anything sketchy about the blue team.
On the latest episode of Club Random, Bill Maher absolutely roasted Jane Fonda's woke monologue, and it was glorious chaos. Fonda came in expecting another cozy podcast, where everyone nods like bobbleheads at her every word. Instead, she walked straight into Maher's den, a man who hunts political nonsense for sport, calm, sharp, and fully armed to shred her script. Let's get into it.
A garage door?
Absolutely.
I'm sorry. Yeah, that is...
No, you know this about California. Come
No,
on.
I don't.
Well,
I'm sorry, I don't.
You've never heard that California is overtaxed and overregulated? That we are a one-party state where there's sort of no checks on that sort of extreme leftism. And that, what do you think?
I don't for a minute consider California a state that is extreme leftist. Not at all, not any way.
Well, that shows where your politics are.
There's a lot to unpack here. Jane Fonda has lived inside the Hollywood bubble for so long. She probably thinks the air outside smells like a movie set. Years of flashing cameras, polite applause, and virtue-signaling crowds have blurred the line between reality and good lighting. In her world, hashtags count as logic and moral posturing passes for a TED Talk. But Maher? He's not buying the script. He walks in carrying a needle made of truth, ready to pop the cinematic fantasy and send Fonda crash landing back to Earth, where bills exist and bad ideas have consequences. Grab your popcorn. This one burns on impact.
Birthers, they became the Tea Party. There's about a third of this country that's very hard right. Of course they love Trump. When he left office, he had an approval rating of 34%. So he really only had those people. Why is he now like tied? Because the other part of the coalition are people who, they don't really like him that much. They just think the far left has gone so nutty on so many issues.
That's what they're being told.
That's what they...
By people like you.
Because it's true. You think the far left does nothing crazy?
Oh, I'm sure they do.
You can almost taste the tension as these two square off. It's that electric quiet right before the verbal fireworks. Here's the kicker. In one breath, Jane Fonda calls out Maher for claiming the far left is going nuts. And in the next, she basically agrees. You can't script irony that perfect. The double standard is practically the far left's party trick. Deny everything, dodge the point, then accidentally confirm it mid-sentence. It's a masterclass in unintentional self-owning. Maher spots it instantly, the audience catches on, and Fonda is about to take a front-row seat to her own undoing. Let's roll.
Left. What do you mean when you say far left?
I mean, I could give you a million examples.
Yeah, well, give me one.
Okay, the NAACP.
You think the NAACP is far
Could I
left?
finish my sentence?
Yes.
You asked me for an example.
Yeah.
Travel advisory, you know, that's like the State Department does to go to, I'm sure when you went to Vietnam, they were advising you not to.
I didn't talk to them. I don't have no.
I know, but you know a travel advisory.
Yeah.
Today we have them for very dangerous countries. You
Yeah.
know, don't go to North Korea, don't go to Iran.
Yeah.
You know where they issued a travel advisory for black people not to go?
Yeah.
Florida. But they just suggest something to the average person, which I completely understand, which is, wow, do you people ever find anything that's ridiculous?
Woke isn't just a mindset. It's a sprawling belief system touching culture, politics, entertainment, and even language. It warps common sense, bends science into activism, and rewrites history to fit comforting narratives. Facts become negotiable, logic is offensive, and feelings sit on the throne where truth once reigned. This isn't about equality anymore. It's control disguised as compassion. Maher touched on it, but didn't hit it hard enough. Woke culture isn't progress. It's the slow decay of reason.
Pregnant? that kind of stuff. And I understand that a trans woman can get pregnant. That's different than a man getting pregnant. And the way they sort of insist on blurring that line is if that's some sort of reasonable social cause, as opposed to just being for having full rights, respect, and protection for trans people.
No, trans women can't get pregnant. That's biology, not bigotry. Maher pointed out the trans movement should fight for rights and dignity, not the power to rewrite science. Asking for respect is one thing. Demanding everyone ignore facts is another. Extremes like claiming men can give birth don't build bridges. They burn them. True progress comes from freedom, respect, and honest dialogue, not speech policing or public shaming.
Action for trans people. We get that.
So I've never heard about men getting pregnant. I've never heard about this argument. It must be some part of what you call the far left that is so minuscule that I, who am...
No, Jane.
What?
It's not minuscule, and I'm sorry, you can't throw this back on us. I assume it's because you are locked into media that just never wants anyone in their audience to know anything sketchy about the blue team.
I mean, I don't know. I read 2 papers, and maybe I don't. I should watch Fox News.
No,
I guess.
I don't watch that. That's too far.
And that was the knockout. Jane Fonda tried to pivot, first defending the far left, then acting like she'd never heard claims that men can get pregnant. You can't just erase years of discussion because it's inconvenient. She tried to downplay it, saying woke voices are a tiny part of the Democratic Party. But Maher shut that down, showing it's now front and center. The denial, deflection, and on-camera gaslighting were laid bare.
I read 2 papers, and maybe I don't. I should watch Fox News.
No,
I guess.
I don't watch that. That's too far. But you don't have to. I'm not going to torture myself.
I'm for the team that understands that everybody should have the same opportunities, that everybody should be able to attain a middle-class life.
That's right.
That,
Yes, that's not what we're talking about.
And that's how it ended for Jane Fonda, practically waving the white flag. Cornered, she joked about wishing she'd watched more Fox News, but it landed as a quiet admission. Hollywood had kept her in an echo chamber, far from real debates on cable news, social media, and kitchen tables across America. Maher pulled back the curtain, showing her how disconnected that bubble had become. Sometimes truth doesn't shout. It just bursts the illusion.
It has been the history of this country, was police who were all too willing to shoot black people. So defund the police, though, was not a good idea. And you know who mostly didn't think it was a good idea was black people, because they want police in their neighborhoods, probably more than we need them in ours.
That's the trap with woke culture. It thrives on emotion, not reflection. The loudest voices ride each moral wave until it crashes, then quietly paddle away. Take defund the police. Once a rallying cry, it left the very communities it claimed to protect facing higher crime and pleading for more protection. Virtue signaling feels good in the moment, but often ends up causing real harm.
The Republicans tried to catch the Democrats with this, and they put this on, they brought it up in Congress.
Yeah.
And all the Democrats voted against it. The Democratic politicians were not for defunding the police. It's that radical fringe that has captured a lot of the media, academia, some of these cultural institutions that are not liberal anymore by my old school liberalism. The ACLU was all about free speech. They don't really believe in it anymore. They believe, in one of their chief people who is trans said, I will die on this hill of banning this book.
Bill Maher is spot on. The woke left has become the loudest, most forceful wing of the Democratic Party, controlling the tone, the language, and which ideas are allowed. Moderates sit quietly, afraid of being labeled bigots, while anyone who pushes back faces cancel mobs, smear campaigns, or even threats. What was once a movement for progress and debate is now a loyalty test to a shifting moral code. Maher's warning is clear. If the left doesn't regain balance, the woke fringe could drag the entire movement into political ruin.
Repair severe divisions. And they went into the fact that 5 years ago, even during the pandemic and during the George Floyd protests, even then people thought, well, we are going to get through this. And now they seem to be on the page of, it's not going to happen.
You know, Bill,
what do we do? But did you see the story?
Yeah, and I think what's new about this moment, one of my teachers and friends, Dov Seidman, likes to say this, we aren't divided, we are being divided.
That's right.
By companies for profit, okay? And we have our divisions, we always have.
I have to disagree. Division didn't appear by accident. It's intentional. The far left thrives on outrage and conflict, enforcing dogma instead of dialogue. Question them, and you're labeled the enemy, canceled, or silenced. This isn't tolerance. It's control disguised as compassion. Until the left embraces real debate and stops treating dissent as heresy, unity will remain a meaningless buzzword. You can't build bridges when one side sets every plank on fire.
You, on your phone, you ordered a yoga mat or something. Your algorithm figured out you're a liberal. Then your neighbor looked up a truck. You're a conservative. And from that day forward, you got different information every day, and nobody sent a notice. And so now you literally think your neighbor is insane, because how could they possibly think this stuff? But if you put your phone next to their phone, you're in different algorithmic universes, and that is brand new and very dangerous.
For once, I agree with Van Jones. We need a shared digital space where opposing views clash productively instead of getting buried. Right now, social media acts like a nanny, feeding us only opinions we already agree with and filtering out anything uncomfortable. That's not learning. It's self-imposed ignorance. Real conversation means stepping into discomfort, hearing and wrestling with arguments that challenge our worldview. The left should genuinely listen to the right, and vice versa, through honest dialogue, not outrage clips or cherry-picked sound bites. Until social media stops trapping us in algorithmic echo chambers, comfort will keep being mistaken for truth. And that's dangerous.